A very good evening, Zimbabwe. You are listening to Studio 7 from the Voice of America in Washington on Monday, December 5th, 2022. This is Live Talk. I am Kip Stube. Tonight we are talking about soccer. Africa's World Cup hopes are now on Morocco, affectionately known as the Atlas Lions, who qualified for the group of 16 after beating Belgium and Canada. They settled for a goalless draw with Croatia in Group F. Morocco are facing soccer powerhouse Spain tomorrow in Qatar in a battle for the quarterfinals. Spain won the World Cup in South Africa in 2010. The Africans are expected to raise the morale of soccer fans on the continent after Senegal, or the Lions of Teranga, were walloped 3-0 yesterday by a determined English side that will clash against France in the quarterfinals. Netherlands versus Lionel Messi's led Argentinian juggernaut. The other slots will be determined by the lineups for matches being played today. And we have just received news that Croatia beat Japan 4-2 on penalties. And Brazil is going to play with South Korea shortly. The quarterfinals will be played on December 9th and 10th. And remember to make your predictions about this year's World Cup champions. We are giving away radio sets. Yebambe namhlaka isixoxa ngemidlalo ye-World Cup kwele Qatar. Lapho le Morocco elikhangelelwe ukuba lizanqikilana lele Spain kusasa. Ele Morocco yilo lodwa elidabuka kuzwekazi le-Afrika elilakho ukuqhubekela phambili emidlalweni le. Loba kukhanya kunzima kakhulu ukuba linganqoba ele Spain elathola isicoco se-World Cup ngomnyaka ka-2010 kwele South Africa. Ele Senegal belikhangelelwe ukuthi lizanqoba izolo kodwa kwehlule linqotshwe iNgilandi kumbe ngithi ngele England 3-0. Ele Netherlands, ele England, ele Argentina, ele France sengenile kusigaba sama quarterfinals. Millions of people worldwide are following these games with keen interest. One of them is Shepard Mukumbura.
I'm putting my money on Argentina. I think since it's Messi's last game, last World Cup, I think we take home the cup. He's going to win the cup this time. And from the African team, I think Morocco is much organized than some European countries. They can come in as a surprise. But what is putting off some of us football fans is the issue of electricity. At times when we are about to see some matches, we are switched off unexpectedly. So that's
so most of the time we do go to the pubs, to the bars to watch football.
Yeah, mostly we go to our local pub with Pata Pata. There are some generators we are kept on at Pata Pata, so that's when we are watching our football.
That was soccer fan Shepard Mukumbura speaking with VOA Zimbabwe Services Ezra Chisasbanda. Usibanda uxoxe njalo lonqobile mathabiswana.
Hayi siyadlala zona sibili. Sizibonile zingenile lezi teams zeAfrica bezama kodwa hayi kwalile sibe ngikhangelele ukuthi ingasenzela ngcono iMorocco. But hayi njengoba sesikhathini sesingena kuma quarter finals sibona ukuthi kona hayi ilast 8 teams yabe kuyiziphi. Kodwa mina engingani ngiyayiphika kakhulu sibili. Ngibona ngani iBrazil ingazama ngcono ukwedlula ezinye team but ayidlali njengeBrazil yani siyaziya kudala. iBrazil siyaziwa isiyo le. Maybe engxenye team engathatha kade singangikhangele mina isingaba yiPoland. Yese ngikhangelele ukuthi hayi ingathatha icup le. Ngoba iFrance layo ayidlali njengeFrance lana siyaziya kudala. Kodwa hayi iyeza nayo. Yaza.
Ama-players ke abadlali obonani badlale kuhle kule World Cup ibaphi?
Hayi abadlali ngaba stand out sibili akula engibonileyo ozimeleyo sibophumayo. ngoba even oMessi bona kade sibakhangelile lawa ayisibo oMessi labane sibazi except nje igame yakhe eyayizolo yiyo ngibona ngani ukwatshengisa nje ama-touches here and there especially igoal yakhe yona lena yenzileyo yokuqala hhayi udlale kahle kakhulu.
Wena nxa ukhangele bona bekhatha ukuorganize le midlalo uyibona njani?
I-organization is 100% inhle kakhulu sibili. Organization was good. Only that nje bona kabasenzanga kuhle in terms of play, field of play. Behlekile bahle baphuma nje kuma group stages. But i-organization bona everything.
Mobile Mataviswana is a soccer fan based in Bulawayo. He was speaking with the VOA Zimbabwe Services as Jesus Banda. Godwin Manguja of VOA had a chat with Shingi Nyamatsao, former Black Aces defender, about the World Cup.
Tanga kwaraita ndekuti timu dzatanga kune timu dzataifilidzira kuti hapana zvatsinokwanisa kusikoita nehistory yatinge tinadzo paWorld Cup kutamba kwadzaita makoreza, asi taona kuti papinduka pabhora zvokuti hakuchisina mwana mudiki kuWorld Cup mamirira zvakaita. I think macoaches vakaita maresearch akakwana nekudedza the right people vanokwanisa kumirira nyika dzavo, nekuti bhora racho matambirwo araita tatogara tariona kare. Zvakafanana nokuti takatarisa timu dzataifunga kuti hakuna zvebhora sana Saudi Arabia yakasikotanga mutambo wokutamba ikadya Argentina. Saka izvozvo zvakatotiratidza kuti makochi ese anofanira kutoti asimbe nemaplayers achisimba World Cup yedu irambe yakasimba. Zvatopfuura nezvekusiyana nezvana Diego Maradona ratosiyana bhora racho. Vari kure zvino they are fully equipped these guys, vakatori serious nekuda kutora mukombe iwoyo. Ndokuratidza kuti zvinhu zviri kuchinja, maplayers edu akuenda achikurawo mufield of play nemacoaches ari kuenda achidzidzawo kuti bhora kuti tiri kunde tinoita sei titeedzerewo zvakaitwa nedzimwe nyika. Ndo maonero atiri kuita zvedu takamira kudai so.
Ko vamunofunga kuti vachitora ndevapi?
Inini pane timu mbiri dzandakatarisa hangu kuona kuti timu idzi dzatamba. Yekutanga yandaomberera maoko senguva yareba England, ndaiomberera maoko. Pane England and Brazil, ndo pandiri kufunga kuti pane imwe inogona kutora chimwe chinhu ipapo mamiriro atakaita nekutamba kwavari kuita izvozvo. Asi Brazil hatitarise hedu kuti hatisi kunyanyoiti inotora nekuti ine vanhu vakadai nevane mazita avo akare embhora chaiwo kwete, asi matambiro avari kuita vari kuratidza kuti vane shungu nekuda kuti vaite rekodhi yavo yakanaka isadzikire pasi. England ndichiona inini ndiri kutarisa kuti ine vanhu vekunyanyanyanya. Coach weEngland ndakamufarira kuti akatonyanyotora vanhu vane macombination ekutamba kutimu dzavanotambira. Takatarisa kuti Maguire anenge ana padhuze naShaw, totarisa uyu mumwe pakati wokuMan City anenge ari padhuze nana Walker vachienda vachitambira na Foden ana Rashford nevanhu vanokuti munhu ane mastrika chaiwo ebhora anogohesa vese vakatungamirwa nemukomo wavo Kane.
That was Shingi Nyamatsao, former Black Aces defender, speaking with VOA Zimbabwe Services, Godwin Manguja. Now we are happy that we've got Sunday Shomari. Sunday Shomari is the VOA reporter who is in Qatar. He's covering these games. Sunday, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Gibbs. How you doing there in studio?
No, very fine. How's Qatar?
Qatar is beautiful. As you see here, the weather is nice. The people are good. It's all about football. We are talking football, drinking football, having fun. Everything is football out here. And party as the Samba boys are getting ready to get on South Korea tonight.
Perfect. And then let's talk about the Korea, the Japan-Croatia game. How was it?
Man, it was a great game for the Blue Samurai from Japan. They were trying to get their first appearance for the quarterfinals. And let me tell you what, all the fans out here where I am located, we're here to cheer for Japan. We're here to cheer for the underdogs. When they scored a goal, everyone was so happy, jumping and screaming. But when Croatia came back, it was quiet. And now, as you see behind me, it's not so much fun because Japan, the Blue Samurai, is out on penalties. And this is something that maybe the Japanese should need to learn more in the coming days because they missed 3 penalties today. Levakovic was so good on the goal, but also it showed how strong and deep is the squad with the 2018 finalists, Croatia. These guys are the finalists, if you remember. They have the experience, they have the ability, and they showed it tonight that they are the ones still.
And penalties are always not too good Sunday. Remember, Maradona missed a penalty, Messi missed a penalty, and so forth. So there's another game coming, Brazil. Tell us a bit about it.
Yes, sir. The upcoming game, every Brazilian is waiting, just like you see my jersey. I'm just, with them. Some of them are here. They are very happy. And they think this is already in their bags because they're facing a South Korean side that they believe as well don't have so much experience past the second round. But is that going to happen? They're also very happy because Neymar is back in the squad tonight. So they think they have everything that takes for them to go to the next round. But what I told them is don't forget what happened to Argentina. Don't forget that right now, this World Cup so far has been with a lot of surprises. Anything can happen. So don't just take it easy like that. But anyway, they are thinking that they have this in their bags. And already right now, in Stadium 974, which is not far from where I am located, already the Brazilians are dancing samba, ready to take this to the next step.
Perfect, Shomari. Then tomorrow there's Morocco. That's where Africa's hope lie right now. What happened to the Lions of Teranga and what is going to happen to Morocco? Briefly.
Well, Gibbs, we all know we had high expectations for the Lions of Teranga. The captain said they are the Lions and they were ready. Aliou Cisse, the coach, said we have the ability to do this. But anyway, it did not happen. Everyone was disappointed after the game last night. I spoke to a few of the fans from Senegal, from all over the world supporting Senegal. They were very disappointed because they didn't show up as we expected them to do. So we don't know what's going to happen next. But Morocco, so far, having the best right-back defender, Achraf Hakimi on the right-hand side, they believe they can make it happen. Also having Hakim Ziyech, one of the great forwards out there in this team, they think they can do it. And most Africans I spoke to around here, they say we really depend on Morocco and we think Morocco can make it happen. As we know, Spain couldn't face when they met Japan, they were beaten. And also, with Germany, they had a draw. So they say, you know what? This Spain team is good, but is also beatable. Is that the situation? Is that what's going to happen? We have to wait and see.
All in all, some big teams have actually bowed out of the World Cup. Germany is going home. This is a big surprise. How are the games in terms of these other, your nations regarded as smaller than Germany? Why do they still appear in these games? Like Morocco, we know it's not like Germany, but it's still in, but Germany is gone. What's going on?
Yes, Gibbs, as I said, this World Cup is full of surprises. Who knew Germany will crash out of this World Cup? This is the second time anyway. In 2018, they also crashed out in the group stage. And this time around, they had a squad that anybody thought. You have Leroy Sané, you have all these guys, the mullahs who are experienced, they could bring something to the team, but it didn't happen. Belgium, for instance, they have a golden team. Most of them are veterans, but we thought they wouldn't crash in this very first step, but they did. So as you say, this World Cup is full of surprises, and yet we'll be surprised more. So let's wait and see what's going to happen with other big teams facing the small teams. But of course, Argentina, France, Brazil seem to be the favorites for most people right now.
And 30 seconds on Pelé. Are the Brazilians not going to be affected? Because we hear Pelé is not well.
Well, we heard that Pelé is not well. And as you said, even we saw the coach when he spoke to reporters, he said he has Pelé on his mind. And so I believe is the whole Brazilian squad. But I think as far as Pelé is on their minds, this is a very experienced squad, has a lot of very experienced and good players. I think they can come in and they can also make it happen, although they have Pelé in their minds in the situation we have in front of them. So let's see what's going to happen on their side.
Thank you very much, Sunday. Take care there in Qatar and behave like me. Thank you very much.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah. For those that have just joined our show, please note that we are streaming this show live on our Facebook pages, VOA Shona, VOA Studio 7, and VOA Ndebele. We're also live on YouTube, VOA Zimbabwe. You can also find us on our websites, www.voandebele.com, www.voashona.com, and www.voazimbabwe.com. You can also send us your messages on our social media platforms right now. We are joined by our next guest, and that is Mzondiwa Mkatsa, who is in London. Mzondiwa is the former Warriors goalkeeper. We know him. He used to be called Les Mzo. Mzo, welcome to the show, sir.
Okay.
Hi, Mzondiwa.
Hello, boss. You okay, Gibbs?
Yes, so how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you.
Right, tell us a bit about what your mind on this kind of World Cup. So far, so good. Surprises, and surprises.
Yes, it's been an exciting World Cup full of surprises. I think it's good for football as well because it's actually leveled the field of play because the smaller teams, the so-called smaller teams, are challenging the big teams. So it's good for football.
So, but looking at Africa, what is going on? Things are not going well, right?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, let's look at all the group stages. I think all African teams, they did win again, which is something that was unheard. What was unheard of? I mean, some years back. So I don't think we are in a bad place. Why I'm saying this is because, in the past, I think we come into these tournaments, idolizing the people that we are playing with. But then now we are coming to compete because most of the boys are actually playing in Europe. So it's actually giving us, some kind of, that spirit to say we can compete with these big boys. So I think it's just a matter of time. So we will just have to apply the law of averages. That one day, I think one of the African teams will progress to the next, maybe to the quarterfinals or to the semis.
Siyakwazi ukuthi Brazil iyakungilana lenye iqembu khona manje. Ubona ngathi kuyaphuma njani khona kumdlalo lo olandelayo?
Yeah, I think some experience. So for now, I think I will just give it to Brazil. Italy, they will probably go maybe to a next stage.
Utsho ngani Mzo?
Experience-wise, because Atembukeli is Japan, le Croatia. I think it was the experience that counted at the end of the day.
Yeah, so ngase sikhangela ke kuya phambili Morocco kusasa iyadlala ikhona sibili. Ishana leqembu elinye iqala kathi ongaza kulibona. So ingaphuma yini kuSpain khona ngani?
I think again is a wheel khona phana ku experience ukuthi I'm hoping ukuthi iMorocco abasoze bedliwe ngokuthi maybe sebecabangela ukuthi lapha bakhona kwesikhathi is just about the belief. When you reach that stage, you need to believe in yourself because of ability, not by luck. So they can compete as long as they believe in their abilities.
Yeah, so siyakuzwa kakhulu. So looking at what is going to happen to some of these teams that are remaining, Netherlands is there, England is there, France, Argentina, big guys here. So
yes, correct.
What's going to happen?
This has been one World Cup that is hard to predict. I don't think there's an outright winner by any stretch of imagination. Looking at it, anyone can win this World Cup. That includes the English team. The unfortunate bit is because they celebrate before they hit that stage. So, but it's an open one. It's very open. My favorites were Argentina at one point, but yeah, having watched some of their games, I'm still not not convinced. But I think they can go all the way.
Oh, yes. Hold on there. So let's talk to Tanazani Zimbwa, who is a soccer commentator based in Bulawayo. Zimbwa, welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so far so good. What's your take on what is going on in Qatar?
When we look at especially African teams, I think I would say this time around, it is a fact that the African teams have done much better. Why am I saying so? It's because the last time around in Russia, we know that none of the teams made it out of the group stage. But here we are talking about Morocco, who will shortly be playing Spain, and also Senegal will play England. So in terms of progress, African teams have done better this year as compared to 2018, when none of the 5 representatives of the continent managed to make it out of the group stages. In that context, I think this time around we can say we've done better. Of course, when we look at performances in terms of individual matches, that's where we can pick 1 or 2 games where we feel we should have done better, but eventually we might have lost.
Yes, Tanazani. So when we look at some of these games, there've been these big surprises. Surprises are what is the World Cup all about, right?
Football is all about surprises, and when you get that, that's what makes it even more exciting. And we have seen the surprises that came around. Saudi Arabia beating Argentina, but eventually reality was going to set in, and everybody knows that eventually Saudi Arabia packed their bags and went home. They could not make it out of their group, and the team that they had surprised, Argentina, are actually now making it. They have made it to the later round. And actually, a lot of people are talking of Argentina going all the way, perhaps to the final, if not lifted. So yes, whereas there were surprises in the earlier stages, but those were just at the beginning of the tournament. And once the big boys settled, they eventually managed to summon all experience and make it to the later rounds. Japan were perhaps the biggest shocker of the World Cup, but unfortunately they succumbed today. They had taken the lead, and perhaps a fatigue eventually crept into them, and by the time they got to the penalty, they lacked the experience. Croatia has done very, very well. Remember, they've gone all the way in this World Cup tournament, and they've experienced the players. So you would have expected that the longer the game stayed, the better it would become for Croatia, given the experience and the quality of players that they have. But well done to Japan for going all the way and shocking big guns like Germany, like Spain. When anyone in the world who can manage to defeat Germany and Spain in the same group would have done well. You would actually expect them to go all the way, but because perhaps of inexperience and the lack of quality players, maybe that's why they eventually succumbed.
Yes, stay on the line, Tanazani Zimbwa. Let's go back to Mzondo Mkatsa. So, Mzo, when we look at the games right now, we know what you may know what is going on in the minds of most players. What's going on with them right now? If they are preparing to go to the game, Brazil right now, and then we've got some other games coming tomorrow. What's in their minds?
I think I did allude to this last week when we had this conversation. It's natural, just like anything else. You go into a big tournament like this, the nerves do play a part as well. So, regardless whether you're a big or small player, but such tournaments, they demand. So there's pressure within. You don't want to let down your country. You don't want to let down yourself. You don't want to let down the team. So all these, these combinations, they play a big part, and so the nerves will come into play.
Let's talk about the 12th person on the pitch or outside the pitch. You know that there are some, some people on the stands there. They always, they are coaches, they are soccer commentators. They're everything. So do players really know what people are saying, in most cases about them? Or they just do what they want?
You can drown the noises, but they do come into, they can affect you. But it now depends with the personalities. Some people can take the hits, some people can't. So I used to drown the noise, but it all depends with how you handle the pressure as well.
Right. Let's wrap it up by hearing what you think is going to happen in these games. I know you are not a Sangoma, but you are somebody who reads the game very well. So what's going to happen to the teams like Argentina, Netherlands, England, and so forth?
I find joy in watching Messi, so I would have loved, for Argentina to go all the way, and maybe possible win it, just to honor him because I'm looking at his age, I'm thinking possible this could be his last World Cup. Like I said, I find joy in watching him. I know there's some quality players out there, the Mbappe's, the Ronaldos, but Messi is my number one. So I would love Argentina to go all the way. But like everybody has said, this has been a World Cup full of surprises. So it could be anyone's.
Well done there. So let's go back to Tandazani Zimbabwe. Tandazani, so looking at what is going to happen within the next few days, like the same question I posed to Mzo, you're not a Sangoma, but what do you think is going to happen?
Well, I think looking at England yesterday, the tactics they adopted and their depth on the bench, I think they will still go. They'll perhaps go as far as they did the last World Cup. I think they have the potential to go all the way to the semi-finals. But their opponents, France in the next game, are formidable. They have the quality. When you look at Mbappe, when you look at players like Giroud, the form that he is in, when you look at Dembele, France are just a potent side. But a lot of it will depend on how England try and manage Mbappe. Kylian Mbappe is on fire, and if they do not have a solution on how to contain Mbappe, then they are as good as history. But England do have the potential. They play as a team. They do not have a lot of star players, but their strength is in tactics and teamwork. And when a lot of people thought Gareth Southgate got his tactics wrong yesterday, he proved them wrong, and he was just convincing against Senegal. And perhaps if he does get things right against France in the next game, then he may find himself progressing all the way this time. They will be on the momentum. Then we look at other potential World Cup finalists, perhaps even winners. Argentina. Argentina are indeed a very good side, and they do have the potential. They have perhaps the world's best player, Lionel Messi, and if they manage to utilize the availability of Messi, we have seen what he can do. We have seen him drive. When he doesn't score, even when he doesn't score, he has such an impact, he can turn games around. And everybody saw what happened when he...
Yes. And unfortunately, Tanzania, we don't have extra time here. We're going to go some miles more, but our time is over. And Mzo, thank you so much. Your last word, Mzo. Just one line. Your last word.
I hope England go all the way, but Argentina win the World Cup.
Thank you so much. We have come to the end of our show today. We wish to thank our guests and listeners. Let's meet again next time. This is Kip Stube in Washington, D.C. saying good night, Zimbabwe.